There was one thing that Super Mario Odyssey fans were certain of before the game's release, that once it finally came out, we would be getting Isle Delfino as post-game content. But that didn't end up happening. Despite the fact that Nintendo teased it a lot in the build-up to the game's release, just look, it's right there on the map that they released of Odyssey before the game came out. So it makes some fans wonder, what actually happened to Isle Delfino? Why did Nintendo get rid of this, or are they still planning to utilize it in the future? In this video, I'm going to offer some theories that I have for what may have happened to Isle Delfino, and I encourage you to leave some of yours in the comments down below. And with that being said, let's get started. The first theory that I want to offer in this video is that Isle Delfino was completely cut out of Super Mario Odyssey later on in development. I mean, Nintendo, you can't just tease something like this without anticipating that it may release in the game. I mean, just look, on the globe on the Odyssey, Isle Delfino is right there. You can see the dolphin shape of the island, but it's just colored out. So this evidence suggests that Isle Delfino was possibly scrapped during development of the game. But why would Nintendo do something like this? Well, the possibility that I'm going to offer here is that Odyssey was rushed a little bit in development, and Nintendo just didn't have enough time to include what they had planned to put into the game. Now, Mario Odyssey is a fantastic game. I love it. It's one of my favorite Mario games in the series, but there are some aspects about it which you could clearly say are rushed. I mean, just look at the post-game content. On the dark side of the moon, the assets are clearly just reused from other kingdoms. It's blatant laziness that Nintendo wanted to put in some post-game content, but couldn't be bothered to develop completely original assets for it. Not only was Nintendo lazy with the assets, but they were also lazy about the name of the kingdom. Darker side, dark side. I mean, come on, guys. Kidding aside, this does give some evidence for why Odyssey could have been rushed. Other evidence includes how a bunch of the 999 moons that are touted to be included in the game are ones that you could just buy. A bunch of them are ones that are just lying right out in the open with no mission surrounding them whatsoever, and you get 3 per boss fight. There are not 999 unique missions in Mario Odyssey, which some people may have believed before they bought the game, because games like Super Mario 64 had a unique mission for every single star. The point out of this is saying that maybe Nintendo planned to include more original missions to obtain these moons, but then they realized, oh yeah, we're kind of rushed for this, and then they just decided to include a bunch of them as ones that you could buy into the game instead to get the total up to 999, as that's obviously a great promotional tool for the game. Am I saying that Mario Odyssey doesn't have a lot of content? No, absolutely not. I had way more than enough content in Mario Odyssey, but some of it was possibly cut out because of a rushed time frame. Why would they have rushed Mario Odyssey though? Well, with the launch of a new console, you obviously want to start out strong. Including a brand new Legend of Zelda title on launch day with the console was a great decision, but they probably wanted to have a big, huge holiday driver for sales, as they probably didn't know how Mario Kart 8 Deluxe would do being put on the Switch, and now it's doing insane in terms of sales, but not many people would have anticipated that. So they thought that a brand new 3D Mario game being put in the same year would drive a lot of sales, and obviously that worked out. But probably the pressure was so high to get Mario Odyssey out very quickly that it had to just be released at that time frame, and some of the content that they had planned to include in the game would have to be delayed. This is evident with the Luigi's Balloon World update that was released after Odyssey had came out. This update came out a few months later, so it does show that either they deliberately held off this content to be released to get some longevity sales for Mario Odyssey, or this content was planned to be in the game but was delayed until months later. But that's my first theory. Let's move on to a couple of others. It is completely possible that this is just an Easter egg and placed there to try to connect the Super Mario Odyssey universe to the rest of the Mario universe. I mean, why else would they not completely remove the dolphin from the globe and instead just color over it? It's gotta be an Easter egg, right? Because they could completely remodel the globe and take off that dolphin there, and that it doesn't have to show up, but instead they just did that, and they knew, they had to have known that some fans would pick up on that and realize, hey, that's Isle Delfino. As for the map that I showed earlier on in the video, yeah, this could just be an Easter egg to say, oh yeah, this Mario Odyssey universe, yeah, it intertwines with the rest of the Mario universe as well. That's why you could go to the Mushroom Kingdom in the game, and no, you can't go to this location even though it's on the map. It could have just been a bad teaser that was miscommunicated with the fans and everybody interpreted it as, yeah, Isle Delfino is going to be in this game, that's what I expect, and then I play the game and then I'm disappointed that in the post game I can't go to this location that's on the map. But those are two fairly pessimistic reasons, if I'm being honest with you. Both of those reasons don't speculate that Isle Delfino is later going to be added to Mario Odyssey. And that's what my next reason is saying. What if they're saving Isle Delfino for some DLC content that they're going to release in 2019? For most of this year, Nintendo is focusing on promoting Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. It's been getting a ton of time in the directs. It's gotten its own direct. People are really interested in Smash Ultimate. I mean, I can't blame people for getting interested in Smash Ultimate. I am. A bunch of the videos that I've been releasing on my channel recently are related entirely to Smash Bros. Ultimate. The build-up to a Super Smash Bros. Game is unlike any other because there is so much speculation that could be done. So if Nintendo had planned to release some Super Mario Odyssey DLC this year after the March Direct when Smash Ultimate was revealed, maybe they had decided to delay the release of this content as to not get the news of new content coming to Mario Odyssey usurped by the Smash Ultimate news that people are going to be more excited about. Super Mario Odyssey has a lot of sales and a large fan base, but there's going to be more people interested in buying an entirely new Super Smash Bros. Game than people who want to buy DLC for a game that's already on the Switch, one that came out the year prior. It is possible that they're holding off this DLC for 2019 and then are going to release it in that year. Is it going to be too far off from the original release of Super Mario Odyssey to have DLC content added in 2019? It's definitely not out of the realm of possibilities. Nintendo does have a lot of big stuff coming in 2019, and I'm sure there's some stuff that we don't know about yet. This could be some content that we do not know about. But the last idea that I'm going to share, I think, also has a chance. What if Isle Delfino is going to be added to Mario Odyssey, but not this game that has already come out? What about the sequel to Super Mario Odyssey? A Super Mario Odyssey 2 that could release in 2019, and it'll make it one of Nintendo's biggest major game release years ever. I'm going to talk about the insane amount of games that Nintendo is releasing in 2019 in another video, but you've got to realize that it's a lot. Like Animal Crossing Switch is already confirmed, and this is a major game that all Animal Crossing fans are incredibly excited about. We're getting a main Pokemon game, possibly Metroid Prime 4, so much other stuff. Would a Super Mario Odyssey 2 conflict with the stuff that's already revealed? Yeah, possibly. But it would also be a huge driver for sales for the Nintendo Switch regardless. Super Mario 3D Land did release in 2011, and then we got 3D World in 2013. I know that that's not an explicit sequel to the game, but the games are in very similar styles, so maybe we could be getting that same pattern with Super Mario Odyssey 2 releasing on the Switch. This Super Mario Odyssey 2 would be including that Isle Delfino content, and Nintendo would probably have a bunch of references about how it was teased back as early as 2017. Super Mario Odyssey 2 could be releasing even later than 2019. Galaxy 1 and Galaxy 2 were released 3 years apart, so we could be getting the 2020 release of Mario Odyssey, and that would make some sense as to not interfere with all the major titles already revealed for 2019. But which out of the possibilities for Isle Delfino's fate do you think is the most likely that I stated in this video? Or do you have an entirely original idea for why Isle Delfino was not in Mario Odyssey? Let me know in the comment section down below, and if you're interested in more talk about a Mario Odyssey sequel, I have made a video about that. Click the link on the screen to watch it, and I'll see you next time.